So hello everybody, welcome back to UrbanPointFilms. Welcome back to the TRAINRIDE Series. Today, we're in Liverpool. We're on the Merseyrail train. We're making our way to the Southport centre. We have stopped there in the rail station. I'm going to show you guys those. Just using my standard vlogging camera at the moment because I'm going to lug everything around in there, especially since I haven't been to Liverpool before. I'm getting used to sitting before I start lugging in my to that. And show you guys that. Merseyrail is an urban rail network serving Liverpool, England, the surrounding Liverpool city region, the Wirral Peninsula and adjacent areas of Cheshire and Lancashire, including a number of underground stations. The core of the network is formed by two dedicated electrified lines, known as the Northern Line and the Wirral Line, which run underground in the centres of Liverpool and Birkenhead. The third line, separate from the third rail electrified network, is named the City Line. The City Line is a term used by the governing body Merseytravel, referring to local northern train services. Its sponsors serving in its area operating on the Liverpool to Manchester lines and the Liverpool to Wigan line. Many of the City Line stations are branded Merseyrail using Merseyrail ticketing. The Merseyrail third rail network has 68 stations and 75 miles of route, of which 6.5 miles are underground, carrying approximately 110,000 passengers each weekday, or 34 million passengers per year. It forms the most heavily used urban railway network in the UK outside of London. The network is operated by a joint venture between franchise holders Serco and Abellio, who superseded Arriva Trains Merseyside in 2003. The contract is for 25 years, expiring in 2028. Serco Abellio operate a fleet of 59 trains, and as of 2015 employ 1,200 people. The first part of the large comprehensive urban network was initially opened in 1977 by merging separate rail lines by constructing new tunnels in the Liverpool city centre and Birkenhead. Although financial constraints have prevented some of the 1970s plans for the network being realised, the network has been extended on its peripheries with additional extensions proposed. The extensions were by electrifying existing lines, then transferring the sections into Merseyrail. Point-to-point or return tickets are purchased from staffed offices or ticket machines, but the system is tightly integrated with Merseytravel's city region-wide pass system, which also encompasses the Mersey ferries and city and regional bus networks. As of March 2019, Merseytravel ticketing is transitioned to the local Walrus smart card system, including Merseyrail Travel. The Merseyrail name became the official brand for the network in the days of British Rail, surviving several franchise holders, although the name was not used by Arriva when holding the franchise. Despite this, Merseytravel continued the Merseyrail branding at stations, allowing the name to be adopted colloquially. Merseyrail is referred to as Merseyrail Electrics by National Rail Inquiries and as Serco Abellio Merseyrail by Merseytravel. The present Merseyrail system was merged from the lines of 5 former pre-grouping rail systems: the Mersey Railway, Liverpool Central to Rock Ferry, Birkenhead Park; the Cheshire Lines Committee Railway, Liverpool Central to Hunts Cross; the Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway, Liverpool Exchange to Kirkby, Ormskirk and Southport sections; the Wirral Railway, Birkenhead Park to New Brighton and West Kirby; and the Birkenhead Joint Railway, Rock Ferry to Hooton and Chester section, and the Ellesmere Port branch. The nucleus of the system was the Mersey Railway, which opened from Liverpool James Street to Green Lane, Birkenhead, running through the Merseyrail running through the Mersey Railway Tunnel, one of the world's first underwater railway tunnels, in 1886. The tunnel's route was extended to Liverpool Central in 1890. A tunnel branch to Birkenhead Park was added in 1888 to connect with the Wirral Railway, and the original line extended to Rock Ferry to connect with the Birkenhead Woodside and Chester line in 1891. The Mersey Railway was electrified in 1903, being the world's first full electrification of a steam railway. This was followed by the separate Lancashire and Yorkshire Railway line from Liverpool Exchange to Southport, which was electrified in 1906. The electrification of the former Wirral Railway lines to New Brighton and West Kirby took place in 1937 and allowed through running into Liverpool via the Mersey Railway Tunnel. The programme of route closures in the early 1960s, known as the Beeching Act, included the closure of 2 Liverpool's mainline terminal stations, Liverpool Exchange and Liverpool Central High Level, and one on the Wirral, Birkenhead's Woodside Station, leaving only one mainline station serving all of Merseyside at Liverpool Lime Street. Riverside Terminal Station at Pierhead was the 4th terminal station to close. This was not part of the Beeching cuts, however the demise of the transatlantic liner trade forced its closure in 1971. The Beeching report also recommended that the suburban and outer suburban commuter rail services into both Exchange and Central High Level stations from the north and the south of the city to be terminated. Most of these lines were modern electrified lines. Long and medium distance routes would be concentrated on one mainline terminal station at Lime Street, serving the populations of Liverpool, the Wirral and beyond. The closure of the urban lines would create difficulty for large sections of the Merseyside population to access the one remaining mainline station at Liverpool Lime Street. Liverpool City Council took a different view to the Beeching, proposing the retention of the suburban services, integrating them into a regional electrified rapid transit network by linking all lines via new tunnels into the centres of Liverpool and Birkenhead. Apart from giving them ease of transport around most of Merseyside, the rapid transit network would give all the regions on the urban lines ease of access to the one remaining mainline station at Liverpool Lime Street, compensating for the loss of 3 mainline terminal stations. This would have added benefit of diverting all local urban routes from the mainline terminus station at Lime Street to underground rail in Liverpool centre. The result will be platforms released from urban use, leaving the mainline station to focus on mid and long haul routes. This approach was backed up by the Merseyside Area Land Use and Transportation Study, the Maltz Report. Liverpool City Council's proposal was adopted and Merseyrail was born. Unfortunately, a small section of the Liverpool to Southport line was not saved from the Beeching Acts. The electrified commuter line from Liverpool Exchange to Crosston in the north of Southport. The Southport Chapel Street to Crosston Station was on the Southport to Preston line, which was axed in 1964. The Merseyside Passenger Transport Authority, later renamed Mersey Travel, was formed in 1969 with representatives from all Merseyside local authorities taking responsibility for the local rail lines identified to be incorporated into the new network, henceforth known as Merseyrail at the time. Hence known as Merseyrail. At that time, the lines out of Liverpool Exchange, Liverpool Central Low Level, Liverpool Central High Level and Liverpool Lime Street stations were completely separate. The existing electric and diesel hauled lines identified to become the new Merseyrail lines were given the names of the Northern Line, Wirral Line and City Line respectively. The lines out of Liverpool Lime Street station would become the City Line. Lines out of Exchange and Central High Level and the Northern Line. The lines out of Exchange and Central High Level, the Northern Line, and the line out of Central Low Level, the Wirral Line. Identifying and naming of the lines was the first stage of Merseyrail's creation. The strategic plan for the North West, the SPNW, in 1973 envisaged that the outer loop, the Edgell Spur connecting the east of the city to the central underground stations and the lines to St Helens, Wigan and Warrington would be electrified and integrated into Merseyrail by 1991.
next